So if you look at me, do you see me? If I'm standing on the street corner and your car drives up to the light, do you notice me? And am I the person who's homeless holding a sign saying, I just need a few dollars to eat?
We're looking at Laura Clark, who has spent a fair amount of her time homeless. If I remember correctly, you first became homeless when you were about 13, is that right? Or were you younger?
I was 5 the first time.
5.
I was 13 the second. I was 10 the second time. I was 13 the third time. I was 22 with 3 children the next time and the last time. Unless it's in my future again, because it can happen to anyone at any time. There's not always a solution. There's not always a way to plan to avoid it.
And through all of that, you wound up getting a baccalaureate from Seattle University, right?
I wound up earning it, yes.
Did I say getting it?
Yes.
I didn't mean to say get it.
That's
earning
all
it.
right. I earned it.
Right.
I worked hard with 3 children on $636 a month of welfare. Attended full-time classes, 5 years straight, 3 years were at Seattle U, and graduated cum laude, with no one to come to the graduation and no one to cheer me on and say good job. But I looked in the mirror and I saw me, and I saw what had been accomplished. But the entire time I was homeless, I didn't ever feel like people could see me.
And from what you said a little earlier, you may be facing the same thing again?
Well, I think when you've been homeless or experienced homelessness, you know that it could happen tomorrow. You have the true understanding that any situation could lead to homelessness. When you lose your job, as I have found recently, that when something changes and your source of income stops, your first thought when you've been homeless, and maybe even if you've never been homeless, your first thought is, where will I live when I can't afford to pay rent? Or where will I live when I can't pay the mortgage? I know people who can't pay the mortgage and have to figure out where to go. So where will I live? And yeah, I've just found myself in a situation where, do you sign a new lease when you don't know what income you're going to have? Or do you not opt for that horrible thing that could happen to your credit, and so you vacate at the end of the lease, not knowing where you'll go?
Now, you were a keynote speaker 2 years ago, is that right, for the political will to end homelessness?
I was honored to be able to come and speak to people who wanted to know what they could do to help with homelessness.
Was it a how-to, or was it more about who you are?
The breakout groups are fabulous how-tos, how to get involved, what to do, what steps to take. The keynote presentation was, what does homelessness look like? Here I am.
So do you think you're the face of homelessness?
I am the face of homelessness because we choose not to see those that are homeless. So who we're not looking at that are homeless is critical. The people we do look at and we see that are homeless are the ones that we want to blame for their homelessness. The ones that homelessness has taken the worst toll on, that are on the street, that haven't showered for days or weeks or months, that haven't slept, haven't been well, haven't seen dentists, haven't had a change of clothes. Those are the ones that we see in our society, and we blame them for their situation. We don't want to fix that problem if we blame them for their situation. But if someone sees me and I say that I'm homeless, they actually look at me and they see me and they want to think that I should have some sort of solution or some sort of outreach. We don't choose to look at everyone who's homeless the same.
What do you mean when they look at you?
We choose who we're going to see. So if I pull up to a stoplight and someone's flying a sign asking for help, do I look away? I have looked away. But why do I look away? Because I don't want to see that, what it represents. But if I'm flying the sign on the street corner, will the people look away, or will they read my sign and offer me help? In our society, we raise children to think that how they look or how they present themselves defines their value. Unfortunately, we have a lot of problems with teenage girls and boys with looks and appearance and their focus being misguided. We do the same thing with adults. We do the same thing with people who are homeless based on their appearance. Who we help, how we respond, has been poisoned by what we've learned is acceptable. And we have to change our thinking. We have to change our thinking and stop thinking that if someone did something to cause their homelessness, they don't deserve our help. We have to help people who need the help, regardless of what we judge to be the cause for their situation.
Do you think that judging comes from our own fear?
I don't know if it comes from fear or if it comes from a great way to not feel the burden of responsibility. If I judge that the person on the street is homeless because they've made a lot of poor choices, I don't feel responsibility for ending homelessness. When we all feel responsible to solving homelessness, we won't judge, we won't think about, we won't worry about what caused people to become homeless.